this treasure isn't a single place. It is a remarkable family with an enduring legacy. A dynasty whose women ruled as well as men and whose capital was this place. It's modern-day Bodrum, ancient Halicarnassus. The dynasty, the Hecatomnids, ruled over an area known as Caria in the 4th century BCE. The Carian people were great artists, soldiers and seafarers. They were smart and distinctive, so it's odd that they've pretty much been written out of the history books. Ah, hello, thank you. Thank you so much. Great to be Bodrum. Thank you. Bye, teşekkürler. Okay, so you've got to ask yourself, why? Why do people hear so little about the Carians? Well, it is partly because written sources are very scarce, but I've got to say it is also just because I'm sure that there was prejudice amongst Western scholars who couldn't quite wrap their heads around them, who couldn't categorise them. They're a bit too exotic, they weren't Greeks, they weren't Romans, they weren't even Persians. So I'm going to try to do what I can to help give the Carians the attention they deserve. My mission starts with an unexpected, last-minute call to say I'm being granted access to a really special place, the recently discovered tomb of the head of the Carian dynasty, King Hecatomnus. The family reached the height of their power under Hecatomnus' son Mausolus, but it was Hecatomnus who kick-started it all. The tomb isn't open to the public, so it's a huge privilege to be allowed inside. I don't know what to expect, so I am genuinely excited. It looks very promising. It's not very Indiana Jones, but this is how it's done. Tamam? Tamam. Tamam. This is, it's so sensitive that you have to come through an airlock, obviously, to get in. Oh my God. Look at this. This is Hecatomnus. So this is the man who founded the Hecatomnid dynasty. And this is his sarcophagus. This is where he was buried. That is so beautiful. Look at this. I mean, you never get to come into a tomb that hasn't been opened before. And looters got in here and took some of the golden treasure, but they're the only people apart from the restorers who've been in. So this is an absolutely remarkable, once-in-a-lifetime experience. I mean, this is the Carians were very famous for the quality of their stone carving, and he's the big man, so he'd have used the absolute best in the business. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. Look at his fantastic features on his face. So this is a real portrait, and I think, I'm just working out what I'm looking at here. So okay, so this is a funerary banquet. So you know, the idea is it's almost as if he's still alive, even though he's being buried inside, and they're mourning him with him present at his own funeral. These are his servants. And these must be his children. These are his children, oh my God. So that's going to be little Mausolus or one of his brothers. So I'm guessing his daughters are going to be over this side. Yeah, look, look, look. He's holding a little bird, which is often a symbol that appears in funerary scenes. But you'd normally, I mean, get the children represented as grown-ups on the other side, so I don't know, let's see if they're around here. Oh my goodness, this is tight. Okay. Oh wow, look at this. It's a hunting scene, so here's Hecatomnus again, and he's hunting a lion. Oh, of course he's hunting a lion, because that proves how omnipotent you are. Oh, this is just so incredible. Okay. So that's what you'd expect to find round here. Oh my goodness, so these are the children grown up. So that would mean that this is Mausolus, Hecatomnus' son. I never thought I'd see his face like this.
Mausolus and his wife Artemisia succeeded Hecatomnus. Together, they embarked on an ambitious building program. The climax, an uber-elaborate royal tomb in central Halicarnassus.
This was the high street of ancient Halicarnassus, and today it is a charming, if slightly unexpected, entrance to one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
The monument, a groundbreaking mixture of Eastern and Western art, was destroyed probably by an earthquake in medieval times.
So you have to try to imagine the mausoleum. It was 40 meters high and a kind of 5-story wedding cake creation. It was covered in sculptures of battle scenes and images of the royal family, and interestingly, a lot of Amazons. Almost at the top, there was an entire Egyptian stepped pyramid, and then above that, a 4-horse chariot driven almost certainly
By Mausolus and Artemisia themselves. It was enormous.
Mausolus might have come up with the idea for this monument, but at the time of his death in 353 BCE, it was unfinished. So Artemisia took up the challenge and created a wonder.
Now, here's the thing. Artemisia was Mausolus's wife and successor, and she was his sister. And these two had another brother, Idreus, and another sister, Ada, who were married too. Frankly, this is odd. So what's going on? Is it that the Hecatomnids as a new dynasty are trying to make a mark, to be distinctive, to distinguish themselves from others? Or is it just that they want to keep power really tight within the family? Either way, these sibling marriages really set them apart.
Perhaps the most significant impact of their sibling marriages was that it promoted female power. Hecatomnid women ruled with their brother husbands not just behind the scenes, but in public. When their spouses died, they weren't passed over for a younger male heir, and what's more, they ruled with confidence.
There's a great story about Artemisia. The island of Rhodes was controlled by Caria, but the Rhodians revolted and sent a fleet here to try to take Halicarnassus. Artemisia was having none of it, and she hid her fleet in a secret harbour and ordered them to attack. The Rhodians were surprised and completely overwhelmed, and the Carians boarded the Rhodian ships and then sailed straight back to the island of Rhodes. When they arrived, of course, the Rhodians thought that these were their countrymen rather than enemies, and they welcomed them in. And so Caria retook the subordinate island.
After Artemisia's reign, the next Hecatomnid couple, her brother and sister, Idreus and Ada, took control.
When Idreus died, Ada ruled alone for 4 years, but then she was exiled. Luckily for her, the most powerful man in the world at the time Alexander the Great rocked up and offered his allegiance. You get the sense the two of them really got on. Ada actually adopted Alexander, and she sent him sweet treats, kind of cakes and buns, before he went into battle. Alexander successfully besieged Halicarnassus and reinstated Ada as queen. But that wasn't the end of her story.
In 1989, archaeologists here in Bodrum made a truly remarkable discovery: an undisturbed tomb believed to be that of Ada herself. The finds are now in Bodrum Castle. The castle was built in the early 1400s on what's believed to be the original site of the Hecatomnids palace. The stunning treasure unearthed in the excavation is displayed here, as are what are almost certainly the mortal remains of Ada herself.
The Hecatomnid family are a treasure because they are remarkable in themselves, but also because they focus our attention on the neglected Carian civilization. Their dynamism and determination forged new forms of culture, and they even gave us one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Plus, thanks to Mausolus, they gave the world a new word: mausoleum.